You are listening to Mollie on a Trip, music around Paris on Paris Underground Radio.
Hello, you have reached Mollie at Mollie on a Trip, music around Paris podcast on the Paris Underground Radio Network. I'm a former music executive from the United States who decided to leave my life in LA behind and move to Paris in 2022. Here in the podcast, I'll be speaking to musicians, songwriters, producers, and music executives from both Paris and abroad about what they love about this city. We hear where they like to hang out, where they like to play or see music, and my own personal favorite, what their favorite places to eat and drink are. I got a chance to talk to Woody, who is a French artist. She's young, she's cool. I love up-and-coming artists. It's one of my favorite things to do is go see small shows. It's part of my A&R background is identifying up-and-coming talent, and got a chance to chat to her about how she started, her left turn on her birthday thanks to her parents, what she likes to do in Paris. And she has a show coming on June 15th for anyone that is around. So please enjoy our chat with Woody. Hi, Woody. So nice to meet you.
Hello.
Where are you today?
I'm at home in Paris, working from home today. A lot of things to do for my social media. So
yeah. Which of the social medias do you hate the least?
I think Instagram. I start to be like more comfortable with it, like to kind of build something I'm comfortable with, and TikTok. I mean, I know that I don't really get all the little things that revolves around it, but well, I'm getting used to it. So
there's a lot going on with TikTok, but I guess it's one of those things you feel like you have to do it, right?
Yeah, well, actually, I think that it's really like an interesting tool, when you know really how to use it, but you have to spend a lot of time like on it to really get to know what's going on because it changes like so fast.
Yeah.
So that's it. But
that's how they get you, because then you need to be on it to study it to then be on it.
That's it.
Well, I'd love to hear, first of all, just your voice is gorgeous. Since I heard it, I've been a fan, but I know you're sort of from here, but have spent time in the UK. Like, I'd love to hear kind of, how did you get into music? What did you listen to when you were a kid? What was your family like around music? And was that in France or was that in the UK?
Well, actually, I grew up like for my first 14 years here in France, and my relationship to music has been like always related to UK and US stuff, actually. Even in France, I was like listening to pop music, big voices, big songs, diva stuff like Beyonce, Adele, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. I mean, that was really all that I listened to when I was a kid. And then for my high school, I moved to London. And so it actually opened me like another door of how I conceived music. And that was like super, super interesting. But yeah, then I came back to France, and actually I started to do music professionally in an actually funny way, because I was like in a law university. And my parents,
really?
I spent like 4 years at law school. And actually for my 18th birthday, my parents just like, that was their gift, like a whole afternoon in a recording studio, because they know that I love to sing. I always like, that's part of me, And so, yeah, I went to the recording studio, and the guy just told me, well, you play piano, you play guitar, you can just like try to write your own song instead of just like record like a cover, or like just try it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try my best. But I had never wrote a single song on my own.
Wow. And you never studied? Like no one had been like, this is how you do this. You just studied by like listening to divas.
No, absolutely not. And when I hear like artists talking about their like beginnings in music, there's a lot of them talking like, yeah, I wrote my first song when I was like 10 or when I was 8, because it was like really from the beginning. And I'm like, oh, that's not how I went there at all. I was like, really, like it was my Dance on the Moon was actually the first song I have ever written. And yeah, so I went to this recording studio, I recorded it, and the guy just told me, well, you have nothing to lose, like releasing it on the platforms. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot and we will see. And actually, it went super, super well. And I was like, oh, wow, but people like connect to my music, to what I write. And it actually was really like the moment that shifted the whole thing. I was like, okay, maybe I can do this like, oh wow, professionally and do that for a living. And
It's so funny because your parents basically changed your entire life, the course of your life on that birthday.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I love to say that without them, Woody wouldn't exist.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Are they happy? Are they so excited for you?
Yeah, they are super, super excited, super supportive. I mean, I'm really lucky to have them by my side, like in this whole journey, actually. So
Well, first of all, that's so cool. I mean, that could have gone so many ways, and I'm so happy to hear that that happened. Was the recording studio in Paris then?
yeah.
Okay. Have you ever gone back there, or was that sort of that one time, and then you've gone to different studios since then?
I went back there for record a second song. It was called In Your Eyes. It's still on YouTube. And it was actually for my next birthday. Like my parents just like
This is gonna become like a
just
thing.
like, okay, do another one.
Yeah, on your birthdays every year, you're like, I'm sorry, I have friends, I can't hang out, I have to go to the studio.
That's it. And then I didn't come back after because I started to work with Filature.
How many, because I don't know, I've been to a couple, but are there a lot of recording studios in Paris, or are there only a couple? Are there certain ones that you like? How would someone find a recording studio here?
Well, actually, I think that I don't know if there's a lot of them. I think that you have to know the people running the studios to really like get to know where the places are, because the recording studios are different in a way that I know studios that are perfect to record like some vocals because they are like amazing microphones, but they are like studios better to record like live instruments. So to know really, I think the specialties of like every studios, you have to like know people, but at the same time you can create music everywhere. I mean, if you have a room, a microphone, and like just a keyboard, you can do some music. So I went to an amazing studio called Artistic Palace to record my live sessions, and like really amazing, very beautiful, super like classy, the studio you can picture when you think like recording studio. And that was amazing, but at the same time I feel like when I'm in the basement of the producer I'm working with, his studio is in a basement. And I feel like this is also like super nice because this is like
Yeah.
very cozy and it's like a whole different energy.
Yeah, there's like a vibe when a producer creates a vibe in a room, it can be actually
Yeah.
really safe to be in something like a vibey little room and very creative. I totally agree. So are you someone who, like, have you played out live yet in Paris much, or is that kind of in the future? I know there's a lot coming for you. And then I also was wondering, do you go see live music in Paris?
So yeah, for me, I've done like 3 shows here. Like I opened for an artist, a French artist here called Thomas Garlier. And that was my first like time on stage singing my song. So that's kind of, the live shows are kind of new for me. I have not done a lot. But that was like super, super nice.
Did you enjoy it? How did it feel? Was it a big venue, a small venue in the middle?
Yeah. It's called La Boule Noire. I don't know if you know it. Yeah, 250 people, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, well, for me it was a big venue, it was like,
Yeah,
oh wow,
totally.
a lot of people.
Yeah. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was super fun, super nice. And I think that when you are like, well, for me at least it was like that. But I was like, oh, maybe I will not like to be on stage, because I know that there are artists that really don't like playing live and singing their song live. And I was like, oh, maybe I will be like one of them and I will not
Totally.
really enjoy the stage. And actually, it felt amazing, and I can't wait to go back there. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any shows planned this year yet, or are those still being planned for later in the year?
Yeah, I actually play a show on the 15th of June at Les Etoiles.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool.
Yeah, very, very nice venue. And yeah, that's it. We are still waiting for some answer for a lot of different dates here in Germany and in London. So
Great.
fingers crossed.
That's a really convenient thing about living here because it's not that far to get to. I just booked a flight to Germany last night and I was like, it's an hour and a half to get to Berlin. And I'm taking the Eurostar in a couple weeks and it's 2 hours. And it's so cool. Just coming from the States, like for us, like you're still in California.
Yeah.
When you're trying to go somewhere. So it's just so fun here that you can go and talk to like a different community with a different language and a different culture in such a close thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you like to go see music if you're just going with your friends? Like, do you go to any festivals here? Lala Paris, Rock en Seine, We Love Green, or are you less into like the festival scene?
I'm not really like a big festival person. I mean, that's just, I don't really connect to this vibe because I don't know, I feel kind of overwhelmed by festivals. I'm like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, there are like so many artists I want to see. I have to make choices. Well, so I'm kind of lost, but I really, really enjoy to see live music. So for like here, I have like 5, 6 different shows that I want to see, and then I'm going to see this month and the next month. I mean, I'm going to see Sam Smith at Bercy. I'm going to see Grace Carter at the Les Etoiles. She plays there.
Nice.
Beyonce at the Stade de France.
I was going to ask you if you got tickets because I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Oh, that was like war zone.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
War zone to get some tickets.
How did you even get them? Were you on the internet like going crazy? How did you get them?
Yeah, I was on the internet, like I was in the queue, and my best friend was there too because he wanted to like go and see her too. And we were like, oh my gosh, what happened if you have a ticket and I don't?
Right, totally.
But we both got it, so perfect. And yeah, like I'm gonna see Ray in November. I mean, a lot of shows that are planned for me, and that really I'm super excited because that's one of my favorite thing, like in music, to see artists performing live.
Yeah, it's great, especially post-COVID, I think. It's really nice to go back to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I love how different it can be. Like there's so much fun that an artist, and especially like in the diva zone when someone has real vocal chops, it's really exciting to go and hear a song and see a song that you know so well from the record and have them kind of give you a different version of it. I think it's so exciting.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure there's inspiration for you as a singer of being able to go see live music now that you know you like making it as well.
Live music is amazing is because, you know, sometimes I can listen to some music on DSP that I don't really connect to it. And then I see the artist playing it live and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I really like it. And I like how you can like make a song live in a different way after it's like released.
No, I totally agree. I mean, and this is why we can't be replaced by AI completely because we're going to want this. I know you can make holograms.
Big question.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to ask for musician people or people that like music, the music vibe. Where are some places in town that are cool? Like, are there neighborhoods that are like kind of, you know, more hip or more cool or more chill? Are there bars? Are there restaurants? Like, what, you know, where would someone who kind of wanted to be around the community, like, where would they hang out?
I think that the really where you can connect to people is like just go to small venues and just listen to like newcomers, really like small artists that are just there with like piano vocals. I think of small venues like Les Trois Baudets, Le Petit Olympia. They are really have great artists that are not really famous yet and that you can just discover and talk with them very easily and just like meet people from the industry and talk to them. And
everyone's kind of there for the same reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it's actually easier to do that than just like DM people on Instagram or things like that. When you just want to meet people that are passionate about music,
Yeah.
just like go to see live performance and speak with them. I think of sofa sessions too.
Yeah.
And they are like pretty amazing to do, like to discover new people. And
there's a lot of them too. I still haven't been to one, but I get their emails and I can see they program a lot of concerts. So far sounds is great. If you're enjoying this episode of Music Around Paris, you may also be interested in our sister podcast, Paris: A State of Mind, where Gail and Marie will talk all about Paris real estate and rentals. Mollie on a Trip, Music Around Paris will be right back after a word from our sponsors. Now, back to Mollie on a Trip, Music Around Paris. Have you done a So Far Sounds?
No, yet, not yet. I hope I'm going to do like one before the end of the year, maybe when my EP will be out.
It'll be fun because I feel like you'll blow everyone out of the water. It's going to be like, make sure they have a venue with like space because you'll be like,
yeah,
I've got like big girl voice. So this isn't like some plinky indie shoegaze stuff. Like we need the sound.
We need a church. We need a church.
Oh my God, exactly. Totally. Some of the listeners of the podcast are going to be coming, US people that are Francophile and fans of France. Is there any tips that you have or thoughts that you have for travelers that come to Paris that love music? I mean, finding venues and stuff, but also is there anything like that you think is interesting to tell someone that is coming to visit here?
I would say that's an interesting question. Well, I would say that Paris is like an amazing place to discover some music and even like, but you have to like understand the people that are living in it, because otherwise you can be a bit, oh my gosh, people are mean. They are judging. And I know that's kind of a stereotype, but at the same time, I feel like this is a stereotype that is justified. Because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, if I were not like French and I don't know the culture, I would think that people are really mean and not helpful and things like that. So no, I would say that really don't be. The city is amazing. The people who live inside are amazing too. You just have to get to know them a bit more. And actually, if they know that you are interested in really like sincerely in get to know them, get to know the music here, they are going to be like super excited and flattered, and they are just going to be super open to talk about it and to make you discover the city and the cool places and everything.
Yeah, that really resonates with me too. That's been my experience as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. Where can people find your music and where should they come find you? Instagram? What is it? Woody
on the Moon. That's my Instagram and TikTok. And you can find my songs in every platform and listen to it. And I'm going to release an EP in September. So
excited. Is there a theme to the EP? And is it in English and French?
It's full English, and it's actually, there's not a like one theme. It's more it's called Roots, and I feel like it's very interesting because it's really about what are my roots, like influences, topics that I want to write about, and it's like strong basis to get to know who's Woody. And it was a super great journey for me, at least, to write this project, because I needed to know who was Woody. Me, like as Rose, I also needed to know who was Woody, and I feel like this is like a great project just to get to know her and to introduce her. And
that's perfect.
And well, my music, I'm sorry, I'm speaking like her, but that was just like to get.
No, it makes sense to me. I actually think it's
yeah.
I think Lizzo has a Lizzo. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think Adele might be one who's like, Adele just seems to be Adele, like when she's in the shower. Like, I think, but I think, I think it actually makes sense to think about it. And in terms of storyline too. And like, because you're going to be sharing different parts of yourself throughout your career, and they are times of your life, but also I think it's probably healthy in some ways to be able to understand Woody and as this artist.
Absolutely. And also, as I was like beginning from nowhere, I needed just like to, okay, like try to find a way that I liked, but at the same time, it's very, when you're like creating music, one day I want to write like piano ballad, and the other day I want to write like, oh my gosh, like dance music, I want a disco vibe and everything. So, I mean, when you're like creating a whole project, you have to think like globally. And it was important for me to try to create and build like a whole universe around it, and even like in terms of image and everything. So
smart. That's really smart.
So yeah, I can't wait for it to come out.
Well, I'm excited. I will be at that June 15th show, and
cool.
Everyone else should come that's in Paris as well. And thank you so much for chatting today. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
I will see you in person soon.
Yeah, see you. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Woody.
Bye.
Thanks for being here today. Hope you enjoyed the chat on Mollie on a Trip, Music Around Paris. Please check out the other great podcasts on the Paris Underground Radio Network. If you have a second, also, please rate us on Apple Podcasts. It does actually help. And if you want to find me, I'm at MollieOnATrip on Instagram, and I'd love to chat about music and food and wine and everything Paris. And I'm also super happy to hear suggestions for future guests. Thanks.
Mollie on a Trip, Music Around Paris was produced by Jennifer Garrity for the Paris Underground Radio Podcast Network.